Hello and welcome to Tete à Tete, France 24's flagship interview show. Our guest this week is Barkat. He's Israel's economy and industry minister. Thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you for hosting me.
You previously served as mayor of Jerusalem, and you are a member of the Likud party of Prime Minister Binyamin Netanyahu. Israel is currently fighting Hezbollah in Lebanon, and many fear we're on the brink of an open war with Iran. Some in Israel are saying this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to go after Iran's nuclear and energy infrastructure. Are you one of those?
I want to remind you, Mark, that October 7, the atrocities committed by Hamas, which is a proxy of Iran, and the fires we've been receiving from Hezbollah, which is another proxy of Iran, and the missile, just last week, we were hit by 200 missiles, ballistic missiles, for the second time from Iran. And the proxies of the Houthis, they're all aligned with Iran. Iran is the head of the snake. This is the first Iran war. They're using all their proxies to try to choke Israel. They want to create a nuclear bomb in order to use it and wipe Israel out. They're evil jihadists. And not only Israel's threatened by Iran, they want to destabilize the whole region. The Saudis are threatened by them, the moderate Arab states, and so does all the non-Muslim world around the world. So we have to attack Iran. We have to make sure they realize that they'll pay a heavy price. We have to de-nuke them, make sure they never have a nuclear bomb.
So you're advocating
of course.
Nuclear strikes, strikes on their nuclear capabilities.
Not just their nuclear capabilities. They've been operating all the proxies in our region, and we want to follow the strategy of President Kennedy in the Cuban Missile Crisis, when the Soviets put missiles in Cuba, targeting American cities. President Kennedy said that a missile coming from Cuba will be answered with a missile to Moscow. Iran is the head of the snake. They're threatening the whole world. They have French hostages. They're threatening everyone. They admitted that they pushed the button with Hamas to attack Israel and commit all the atrocities to derail the peace process that we have with the Saudis and other moderate Arab states. So we have to hit Iran, be bad with the bad guys.
Even if it's a regional war as a consequence.
It's our neck on the line. What would France do? What would the French government do if you had 200 missiles hitting France? Would you move on with life? It's our neck on the line. And in Lebanon, we have 70,000. It's like 500,000. It's equivalent to 500,000 French displaced from their homes from a fear of invasion from Lebanon, like October 7. What would the French government do if you had an invasion threat by terrorists, and for a full year you have 500,000 French displaced from their home?
What is happening in Lebanon? We saw Israeli soldiers planting flags on Lebanese soil. The prime minister warning that they need to get rid of Hezbollah. If not, there'll be destructions like in Gaza. What does Israel want? A new invasion of Lebanon?
As I said earlier, there's a threat of invasion from the Hezbollah warriors up front in the northern border. What we just saw, the soldiers in Israel are entering Lebanon to dismantle that capability.
To occupy Lebanon or not?
No, the answer is we want to take all the terror infrastructure in the northern border. See what Hezbollah did. They planned to have October 7, the same as we had from Hamas, in the northern border. And so they brought right close to the border, against the decision of 1701. They shouldn't be close to the border. They brought the capability of thousands and tens of thousands of soldiers to invade Israel. And so they put right next to the border, they put all their ammunition, all their preparations, and for the benefit of pressing the button and invading Israel. And that's why we displaced the equivalent of 500,000 French, 70,000 Israelis. We cannot bring them home before we eliminate that threat and create a perimeter that they cannot get close to the border to threaten the Jews, the Israelis on the northern border.
So Israeli soldiers will not enter Beirut?
We need to dismantle Hezbollah. That's our goal. We have no quarrel with the Lebanese people. If they want to use the opportunity and recreate Lebanon of the past, the one that, that was like the Paris of the Middle East. We'd be happy to see Lebanon thrive and succeed.
You're calling for regime change in Lebanon? Is that
Would be very happy to. It's not the goal of the war. The goal of our war is to bring back our 500,000 equivalent French citizens to their homes. They are displaced for a full year. We waited first to make sure that the infrastructure, terror infrastructure in Gaza is dismantled, and now we're focusing on furthering the terrorists and getting rid of the terrorists in Lebanon.
Speaking of Gaza, Israel has vowed to destroy Hamas. Fighting is still going on, but in the eyes of many across the world, and including here in France, Western countries, including in the United States, Israel is not destroying Hamas. It's destroying Gaza. It's killing Palestinian civilians.
You know, what they've done, we have a very strong, I think it's a strength in Israel. Okay, we care about life. We don't want to hurt innocent people.
But that's what's happening.
But Hamas sees this as a weakness. And what they've done is they embedded all the terror infrastructure as part of the civil infrastructure. They put the rockets and the infrastructure underneath the ground, underneath hospitals, connected to schools, connected to mosques, connected to homes, because they know that it's sort of safe, because Israelis with a big heart don't want to hurt innocent people. So when we entered Gaza, we have to dismantle the infrastructure, the terror infrastructure.
But at what cost? I mean, the children, women
have
have
no
been
choice.
killed in droves. You had no choice?
Israel didn't start this war. They could have decided when we left Gaza 18 years ago, many people wanted to see Gaza build the Singapore of the Middle East, Dubai.
Was it a mistake to go out?
We wanted to see them succeed side by side. We're out. We didn't like it, but we made a decision, a conscious decision, not to let them live their life. And rather than investing and creating better economy, better jobs, better quality of life, they put all the capital they received from the world, and they created terror infrastructure. They have one goal, okay, is to destroy the state of Israel. And when we enter Gaza, we have to dismantle that and make sure that never again will they have the capabilities of attacking Israel again.
Your colleague, Finance Minister Bezalel Smotrich, has his ideas on what to do after the war eventually finishes in Gaza. It's to reoccupy Gaza. Is this what's...
No, that's not the goal of Israel. That's not our goal. Our goal is to hopefully see them build Dubai and to build, recognize Israel as a legitimate state to live next to. They have to de-radicalize their education system to make sure they don't train their children to kill Israelis. We're waiting for them to love their children more than they hate us. And we want to see them accept the fact that Israel has the right to exist in the region. Today, they don't believe in a two-state. They believe
But do you believe in a two-state? Seriously, I mean, people doubt it when they see what's happening on the ground, the declarations by some ministers, even the prime minister is not that clear anymore about this.
My view is very clear, okay? We want to see Dubai next to us. We want to see governance structure more aligned with the Emirates, a successful governance structure.
It's not exactly a democracy, let's put it this way.
But it works much better than the democracy. You know, Dubai, what do we want around us? In Hebron, in Ramallah, in Nablus.
We want a Palestinian state.
Do we want them to look like Dubai or Gaza? There are elections in Gaza. Look what happened. Well, there are no elections in Dubai, but look how successful they are. It's much more suited. It's a much better model than a two-state solution. This is a model that will be accepted by the majority of Israelis. But it collaborates with Israelis. It's not against Israelis. And 99 parliament members voted against a two-state solution because we realize that it will become a terror state. We prefer to see them succeed like Dubai. We want to see them successful when we can collaborate together like we do with the Emirates. We want to expand the Abraham Accords to include the Saudis. We want them to join the Abraham Accords.
Saudis have said no until there is a Palestinian state.
Well, they want to make sure that we care about they want to see
a Palestinian state. They've said that.
I think there's a better model than a two-state than a state. The model is what they have, the Emirates have, Anyway, this is something that we could work out. I'm sure we can work out with our friends.
Last question. You're the Minister of Economy. The Israeli economy obviously has taken a hit because of the war in Gaza. Now the war in Lebanon. The growth forecast is 1.1% for this year, but that's not going to happen, correct?
The way to compare the stability of the Israeli economy is look at the debt to GDP. Our debt to GDP in the beginning of the war was 60% debt to GDP. Just in comparable, I think France is about 115%.
Yeah.
The US is 130%. And the war will bring us anywhere between 70 to 75% debt to GDP. But you will see, while there's a dip in the war, because we're putting a lot of energy and capital to win this war, and we are and we will win the war, exiting the war, you'll see a huge spike, as always happens after a round of violence in our region. So Israel's well geared to propose to the world better high-tech, health tech, agro-tech, food tech, desert tech, homeland security, cybersecurity. Our friends around the world, we know how to help and make a better world. We would like to see the Abraham Accord expand. We have to be bad with the bad guys, Iran and the terrorists around the world. And we want to expand the peace with the Saudis, with Indonesia, and other friends around the world. We are peace-seeking people, but when we get attacked, we know how to win the war, not just for our sake, for the sake of the free world.
Nir Barkat, I want to thank you very much for coming here on the France 24 set. And
Pleasure.
thank you all for watching it here on France 24.